Your Eminence, Cardinal Cleemis, welcome to Voice of the Vatican on Shalom World TV. We are delighted to have you with us. Your Eminence, would you tell us, as the president of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, as well as the Kerala Bishops' Council, how would you say that the recent canonization of Mother Teresa will affect the identity, the mission, and the freedom of the country of India, especially in light of the BJP as the ruling party there?
First of all, it's a crowning of a person's spirituality and attempt to tell everyone the real strength of her spirituality. Mother Teresa of Calcutta, as we would call her now, Saint Teresa of Calcutta, is the one which the world looked at, and also the world would like to hear, and also to see what you can do positively and meaningfully and significantly to preach the gospel without interrupting anyone, hurting anyone, but at the same time including everyone in the hands of God, that we all are loved by Him. In the Indian context, I must say, the canonization of Mother Teresa is not an isolated event. It's a crowning of a person's commitment to the poor.
Yes.
Lot of awards, honors have been given to her by the world, starting with Pope Paul VI, the Blessed Pope, and also the most significant Indian civilian award of Bharata Ratna, and then the Nobel Prize, and now from a faith perspective, sainthood conferred by heaven. Is it not a confirmed sign from above that God's chosen one to do the work of mercy is being totally and fully endorsed by heaven? And in India especially, Mother Teresa's significant life tells a lot of story about evangelization. If the word evangelization, people have different varied meaning and connotations. Some say it is a way of taking away the people from one religion to the other. In fact, it is not so. It is an attempt to tell how did one person impress or experience God through the person of Jesus, to transmit that experience to the other. Mother Teresa, for her, the poor was poor. Not a Christian poor, Hindu poor, and Muslim poor, and so on. No. For her, poor was poor. She tried to see the face of God, and for her, the face of God was always through the face of Jesus. Jesus' face was seen, all these wounded people. She tried to console them. This is what she did. And India, we still need this inclusive approach of persons concerned to the poor, because poverty makes a big challenge for this developing nation. And we need people like Mother Teresa to look into the real problem and to solve the problem irrespective of caste, creed, and language. We need such people who can include everyone. In this context, Mother Teresa's canonization is a sign and of vindication of such secular, at the same time spiritual, but inclusive commitment to the poor.
Yes, she certainly managed to transcend all of these boundaries in
Yes.
such a powerful way and transmit Christ, as you're saying, Your Eminence.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how she has made a personal impact on you. How has she inspired you?
Such a great lady who always impressed people of different sections with her amazing power of communicating one thing. Poor should be treated on the basis of poverty alone, nothing else. Not basing on any nationality or the linguistic context or religious affiliation, but only on one aspect. If he or she is poor, they have to be treated, they have to be taken care of. And she was always ready to do this service through her available presence, through her sisters in the whole world. And this Mother Teresa, for me, she is an embodiment of God's care for the poor. There are people who try to understand her from sociological point of view and also from the aspect of poverty, and some people with a very critic mind, what she did and so on. But to me, she still remains a miracle like. How could one love so much poor ones who have never heard of such people? She is by birth, as we all know, from an Albanian, but she is more than Albanian now. She is an Indian, but still, I must say, though she is Indian, she is a world citizen. Therefore, what she would give me personally is the Christian spirituality of the need of being available as Jesus did. So in this small figured lady, the saintly woman of Calcutta, I must say, she totally dedicated herself. She totally gave herself the service of the poor. Spirituality is availability of this person to the face of Jesus everywhere. And this has been always a marking impression on me from her life. This lady is available for everyone.
It's so true. She was the mother to us all, wasn't she?
Yes.
And in this incredible way, as you're saying, she had this heart for the poor despite any kind of religious barriers. And of course, today we work hard in the church to reach out to other religions. And I know that that's part of your work as the president of the Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue. What is the mission of the council? What are some of the initiatives you're working on?
This is a dialogue in the sense this is an ongoing pilgrimage to search how far this experience is perceived by all. Not that we have not realized the truth, but we are searching how far this has been realized among the people of various faith aspects. For example, do you know the truth? Yes, we know the truth. But how far you have experienced? This is a challenge given to all the faithful, not of one religion or one church, but all people. Have you experienced this truth? Well, for us Christians, the face of Jesus or the life of Jesus or the incarnate Word of God is the only perception of God. In a sense, Jesus very clearly said, "Whoever sees me sees my Father." So he is the embodiment of the fatherhood. So when we know who really Jesus is, we know what he speaks about the Father himself. Therefore, this is a perception of the truth which we all know. For other persons of other religions, it may be a different experience or different expression. But at the same time, we are in a pilgrimage to come to the truth that we need to perceive the correct perception of the truth. This is not to monopolize, but this is to share. And I have the right and I have the obligation to tell everyone my faith based on the life of Jesus and my connectivity with this incarnate Word of God. If I hide that and if I engage myself in a dialogue with a mask, this is unchristian. This is a disservice to God himself. I should say what I believe in. I should say how I perceive God. So as the church is engaged in dialogue, Catholic Church is trying to do sharing our experience and also listening to the other experiences of people so that we may continue to make the pilgrimage straight to the absolute truth.
Yes.
That's very important. And by doing this, for example, by doing the works of charity and mercy, like Mother Teresa, we will come closer to do something which is pleasing to God. So dialogue is not only on certain theories, but also an occasion to do something together so that we could touch the field of poverty or something of that aspect in all walks of life. Therefore, dialogue is not only the verbal communication, dialogue is also sharing of the commitment, the absolute truth.
Because of course the truth is what is attracting us all. It's
Exactly.
certainly our common ground.
Exactly.
Yes. Your Eminence, when you were named Cardinal 4 years ago, you were the youngest in the conclave. Would you tell us a little about these 4 years as Cardinal, some of your personal reflections?
It was a very, very amazing moment in the sense that when Cardinal Bertone, on behalf of Pope Benedict XVI, asked me to come and meet him, I did not know what it's all about. And then when I went to see him in his office, he said, the Pope Benedict has appointed you a cardinal. It was, well, I must say, it was a very special moment. I asked, what shall I do? Should I give my consent or what? He said, no, he has already appointed you. So he doesn't need like that. So, and I said, what shall I do now? What should I do? I don't know what. He said, nothing, you pray. Okay. And when is the announcement? He said, tomorrow at 10:30, the Holy Father will announce it during the audience. Well, I straight away went to Pope John Paul II and I prayed there because he's the one who appointed me as a bishop in 2001 and so on. And whenever I come to Rome, I make it a point to come and sit some time there for a rosary. So I did it, and this last 4 years was something significant for me to be at the service of the church and also thereby at the service of the society. A lot of responsibilities, and along with the presidentship of the CBCI and also the conference, the council in Kerala and so, and also as the president of the National United Christian Forum in Delhi, which is a combination of all churches together. It's a national body. Lot of responsible, I must say, responses on various occasions, and to try to unite everyone together for a common cause, and also try to engage the church in dialogue with the other religious communities and so on, which was very satisfying for me. But I must say frankly, it is not an easy task to listen patiently everyone and to combine those good aspects of dialogue with everyone and to do something positive and united as a nation and so on. Also, representing our country, it is also sometimes very challenging, demanding. I feel always proud of being born in India, and I must say this is the best country I have ever known to live, and this is one of the oldest cultures of the world, our Indian culture, and I still feel proud of it. And in spite of all these things, when there are what we say unwanted happenings which take place in India regarding this religious faith and so on, that would pain me sometime. Now, see, this is not in line with the country which we speak of, and especially when we speak outside of our country about the beauty of our culture, such things, such events of hatred would, I must say, would malign the whole image of India outside and so on. Sometimes that gives a lot of internal pain and so on. And at the same time, I feel very happy and satisfied that these 4 years I could do in my own way, in limited way, to represent the church in India, to represent the country, especially outside the country, and to speak what we need to be as Indian and what we need to be as a church, one is holy, Catholic and apostolic.
Sure.
And that gives a lot of satisfaction. And I feel very happy about the whole, I must say, a demanding task attached to the office of the Cardinal. At the same time, it's also a grace I feel, an experience that God has given me during these 4 years of my life.
Well, please allow me on behalf of our viewers to thank you for your steadfast dedication and devotion to our faith.
Thank you.
And one of the beautiful things about our Catholic faith is its richness of tradition and history. Would you tell our viewers a bit of the brief history of the Syro-Malankara Church?
Yeah, for those who have not really known the history of the church in India would think it is a very complicated history. I must say, in short, the Syro-Malankara Catholic Church is one of the sections of the St. Thomas Christians. And the St. Thomas Christians, generally, we could say, it was divided in 1653 on account of liturgy and the perception of liturgy, and also the intervention of the foreign missionaries and so on. And so one of these sections, St. Thomas Christians, from the time of St. Thomas the Apostle, and his preaching helped to form a community in India. That is what we call St. Thomas Christians. And this section, one section, is presently known as the Syro-Malabar Church, and the other section is the Malankara Church in general. Malankara Church in general is a term denotes the communities of these churches of St. Thomas Christians, which follow the West Syrian tradition of Antioch. For example, these the Malankara Orthodox, Malankara Jacobite, and to an extent the Marthoma Church, the Malankara Syrian Catholic Church, that is the Syro-Malankara Church, All these churches follow the same liturgy like that of St. James the Apostle in Antioch. These churches are following the West Syrian tradition, and the Syro-Malankara Church is following the East Syrian tradition. And from the section of this Malankara Church, one group under the leadership of Baselios, the servant of God, joined with the Catholic Church in 1930, and it is known as the Malankara Reunion Movement, which eventually in 1932 by Pope Pius XI, by his decree Christo Pastorum Principi, erected the Syro-Malankara Catholic hierarchy, and that is known as the Syro-Malankara Catholic Church. And we started with 5 people along with Baselios, and now we have about 500,000 faithful because of the providence of God. And we have our church raised to the status of a major archiepiscopal church in 2005, and our late Major Archbishop Cyril Baselios was the first Major Archbishop Catholicos, and I am the second in line in his succession to lead the church in India and outside. And we have 10 dioceses, and we have our diocese in New York, and Bishop Eusebius Thomas is the eparch of the eparchy of Our Lady Queen of Peace, and based in New York, Elmont. He is the Bishop of USA and Canada. And in 2001 and 2003, I was the apostolic visitator for this community in New York, and I stayed over there. And now we have also our community spread in various parts of Europe, Oceania, and especially in the Arabian Gulf. Our presence is everywhere in the Gulf countries, including that of the countries where there is no freedom of worship. And I must say, and we have 14 bishops, and the head of the church is known with the title Major Archbishop Catholicos. And also we have the synod, which governs the church. And in 2012, I was named a cardinal by Pope Benedict XVI, the first time in the history of our church to have this recognition from the Holy See, so that the head of the Malankara Church can also be part of the election of the Supreme Pontiff, which is significantly important for the life of the church in Malankara. And I must say, we are an Eastern Catholic Church totally committed to proclaim the gospel, evangelization, and also we tried to foster the reunion and communion movements, ecumenical movements with the other separated brethren. And also we are at the service of the nation wherever we work, and to be part of the nation building process through education, healthcare, and also in the charity initiatives. That marks one of our strongest commitment to bring people to the mainstream. And our church works sincerely for the upliftment of the downtrodden to the mainstream, especially with the backward communities, and bring them to the main fore. Baselios, a servant of God, whose course has been initiated in 1998, which we submitted yesterday at the Congregation for the Causes of Saints. And now the Roman face of the canonization process will start soon, so that his sanctity of life will be also known to the Universal Church. And we have also a diocese in New Delhi, in Gurgaon, and we have an exarchate in Pune. The whole India jurisdiction has been granted to the Malankara Church since 2 years' time. So we are also seriously engaged in the mission work, in the evangelization work. Our missionaries are now out in various parts of the country and so on. So this church is an apostolic church, that is to say, founded by an apostle. An apostolic mandate of preaching the gospel is taken very seriously. At the same time, we empower the work of promoting Christian unity with the other churches also is an important apostolate. This is all what we could share with the people who have not yet known the Malankara Church and its apostolates. And we would say we are very happy to be called as an Eastern Catholic Church within the Catholic Communion, because we represent not only the Eastern Catholic as such, but also the unseen Eastern brethren everywhere.
So, on that note, Your Eminence, you are a member of the Congregation for Oriental Churches at Vatican. Would you tell us a bit about the mission and the work of that congregation?
The mission of the Oriental Congregation is to ensure that the Catholicity remains in various aspects, and predominantly by ensuring that we have a rich variety of ritual traditions within the Catholic Church. Sometimes it was misunderstood that what is Latin is Catholic and what is not Latin is non-Catholic. But now, with the emergence of the Second Vatican Council, which again affirmed Catholic Church is a communion of churches, therefore the Catholicity is fully revealed through expressing the rich variety of the Catholic traditions. The Eastern traditions are also a guarantee and a sign that Catholic Church is not a uniformed system, but it is a system of unity in diversity, and diversity is seen as not as a problem, but as a sign of richness and I must say beauty of the Catholic Church.
And Your Eminence, we at Shalom are so blessed to have you as our patron and your prayerful guidance along the way. What do you feel the role is for Shalom and for it in the world of Catholic media?
As the chief patron of Shalom, I'm closely connected with the activities of Shalom. And as a seminarian, and as a young priest, and as a young bishop, I have been closely associated with Shalom. And I am fully convinced the Spirit of the Lord is at work through Shalom, and it brings a considerable sign effect of preaching the gospel. And this is a wonderful service. It's an incredible achievement on the part of the commitment of one single layman, and it has spread to the various parts of the world that the gospel is alive. So I wish and pray that through Shalom ministries, we would like to get good vocations to priesthood, to religious life, and to the family life. That is very important, I must say. Through Shalom ministries, I must say, we would like to get good Catholic families as vocation itself, so that the gospel may live in the families and will produce beautiful, considerable, significant effect on it. I wish all the best, and especially the blessings of heaven with the intercession of Blessed Virgin Mary, whose birthday we celebrate on 8th of September, so that our journey, our pilgrimage, our prayer together will lead us to the greater heights of glory, to the church in India, the church everywhere, and to the Catholic Church. God bless all of you.
Thank you, Your Eminence, and thank you for being with us on Voice of the Vatican with Shalom World TV. May God bless you in your ministry. Thank you, Your Eminence.
Shalom.